Welcome to the after show for Rebel episode 5 entitled Conceal and Carry. Stay with us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Okay, it's a little dull, but the energy will pick up. Hi, you guys. Welcome to the after show for Rebel. My name is Ava Hill, and you can find me on Instagram at the Ava Hill, and to my left.
Hey guys, I'm Lynneisha. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33.
So guys, you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. I always find a way to stutter it, and I haven't said it 30,000 times. But hit me up at DeAnJilo TV on Twitter and at DeAnJilo on Instagram. Where can you find you, TK?
First, shout out to Kendrick. Top
Always.
100.
Always.
Killing it.
Top 100? Oh, the album.
The Billboard, the whole
Oh,
album.
okay. I thought you were saying he's a top 100 rapper. I was
No,
like, yes.
whole
right.
album. So
Yes.
shout out to Kendrick
Shout
for
out to
sure.
Kendrick.
My name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. We also have this live chat running as well. So
Black Jones.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, Black
And
Jones.
we have a special guest. Tash Gray is in the building.
Hey.
So Tash, let them know where they can find you on social media.
So you can find me on Twitter at either Tash B Writing or Natasha Tash Gray, Gray.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Now, you are a writer on the show. So how has it been? What has your experience been like writing for the show?
It's been wonderful. I mean, this show came, I'm actually both a comedy and a drama writer. This is my first drama. So it was pretty exciting to get my, feet wet and making people feel angry and sad versus laughing all the time. And then, it was just an amazing experience in that, I got to work with some great people.
Yeah, John Singleton being one.
John Singleton is the reason I'm on the show. That's who brought me in. And
Okay.
was like, you want to do this? I was like, maybe. No, I'm kidding.
So it's like that for you right now.
I don't know if I got time for you, John.
I mean, you just John.
Yeah, right.
You just did all the movies that I love, but whatever. We can talk now.
That's funny. So what is that relationship? How did you guys meet?
Well, like I said, I was a comedy writer, and another really good friend, mentor in my head. I mean, he's a mentor. If he want to be or not.
Okay.
Another friend.
Yes.
He ain't got no choice. But another friend of mine is a drama writer, very accomplished, established, respected by many. Cheo Hadori Coker, who does Luke Cage.
nice.
And he read my comedy and was like, my comedy is super dark. If it's really, really bad, I'm gonna make it funny. And he was like, you'd be a great drama writer too. And he, said, hey, if you ever decide to write drama, let me know. And so I was like, I'm gonna try to, kick a dog or something.
See where it goes.
What's that?
What's kind of the, outside of what you can assume, what are some of the transitions or challenges when it comes from changing from comedy to writing for drama?
Well, I mean, comedy is very straightforward. The story is really simplistic because that's how you add the layers of comedy to it. It has a beginning, middle, and end, but really it's about the characters and what they're going to do and how it's going to be funny. Whereas drama, it has all these ins and outs, ups and downs that has to be carefully choreographed to make it dramatic, to make it, and Rebel is both a procedural, meaning, she does her cases, and then it's that thing that happens throughout the whole season where she's investigating her brother. So all these things happen, and with characters, just layers and layers and layers that has to be, in place in episode 2 to make sense in episode 6. So whereas comedy, we'll have a little bit of that, but if we don't bring up what happened in episode 2, nobody cares.
Right.
Long as we don't do something crazy, it's not as much a big deal. And so for me, it was just like, oh, okay, this is going to be new and interesting. So
Yeah. So as a writer, how has this kind of sharpened your talent? How do you like drama more than comedy? Do you like them both the same? Do you think that you want to do more dramatic pieces?
You know, I would say they're like my children. You know, I don't have a favorite. I'm alive.
I'm about to say,
I'm
parents got
alive.
favorites.
Parents got favorites.
You don't have a favorite.
I'm the favorite. I know my
know
mom
I'm
your
not.
favorite. Oh, well, I wasn't supposed to tell the other kids. I think levity is still something that's, you know,
Dear
near
to
and
you.
dear to me, because I feel like, you know, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So, you know, I choose laughter. But I have to say I have a special affinity for drama now, because there's so many more important stories you can tell with drama. You can have that weight to it and really make it resonate with people and sit with them longer than maybe a joke will. And I think that's something that Rebel does. I also think Rebel has levity. I know, because I wrote some of them lines in there that I'm like, can we put that in there? And, you know, Randy, who's our showrunner, Randy Huggins, would be like, okay, she can say that, you know. So I think levity helps, but there's something that's sustainable about drama that sometimes comedy doesn't have. So
Yeah.
I think for moving forward, I'll be doing like dramedies where it'll be really dark comedies that, you know, have some type of, you know, substance, but yet, you know, you find those places that you can laugh.
And those are usually the most clever ones, which I like. It's cool. Like
Yeah.
you're laughing, but you're kind of like, man, should I be laughing at this? Like,
Because I was gonna ask, since you say you have like your comedy is kind of dark, like how do you keep yourself from like inserting that too much when you're doing a drama, because you're used to the darkness of that?
You know, I don't know. That's a great question. She stopped me. She stopped. You know what? It was very, very thought provoking. And I have to say, you know, just off the cuff, because she's coming with the deep stuff. You're always rewriting in the process, you know. It's never the first draft. So sometimes it is too much and I have to pull back, you know, because instinctually I may go one way. And then other times it may be too dark and you have to pull back. You know, you see that scene, you read it and you go like, people go need, you know, to hydrate between scenes from crying, you know, like, this is not a good idea. I need to pull it back. So I think a little bit of, you know, reviewing after the fact, but in the moment, I really, no self-censor. It's just like, let's go. The people in my head, they start talking. I'm like, what y'all say? That's funny.
Go ahead.
Are there any parts of the character that you wrote that are like parts of you inside, like Rebel or any of the other characters on the show?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I feel like there's a little bit of Rebel in all these women in here.
Hey.
And this sir right here, he might be kicking somebody here and there.
Might be. Sorry, no.
But I think one thing that's a real interesting about the characters is that I found something in all of them. Even Mac, even, you know, like Chuck, you know, the lieutenant, you know, who right now may be looked at as a bad guy. You know, I see myself in like the desire to make the system work, because we want that. It doesn't, but to say I'm on the inside and I'm going to make this work for all of us, I understood what that was. And I think as a writer, you have to find a piece in every character to resonate with, because it humanizes them and then you can write them. So, you know, I can't say that I most identify with Rebel because she's a, you know, badass black woman who's, you know, super cute. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm her. But I feel like I'm every one of those characters in one way or another, and that's how I'm able to like write for them.
Dude, so one thing we've been having with the guests a lot is been talking about, you know, the vision with Rebel, like having her be a badass black woman, having all the different looks and all those type of things. From a writing standpoint, was that something communicated to you guys? Like, we have to make sure that she comes off in this way, like her like, I guess they've been saying that she's like the female Shaft or whatever. Like, was there, like, in that writing process for you guys, was there a lot of intentionality with that? Like, what did that process look like?
I mean, absolutely. I think it started from the top down, from Amani Walker, who wrote it and had a very clear vision of who this woman is, to John, when I was introduced to him by my friend Chael, and he was like, I have this character, you know, all the way to Randy Huggins, and, you know, everybody knew that, you know, there had to be layers to this woman. I feel like black women, just in general, are like some of the most powerful women on earth. I mean,
Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to your mom, my mom, our mom.
Everybody's mom.
You know, black girl magic really does exist. I mean, we're the most educated group in America.
Say that
right
again
now.
for the people in the back.
Right.
Black women
Okay.
are the most educated group in America.
Ooh.
right now. So above anybody else. You know, I actually said that in a comedy room I was in, and this white guy was like, "What?" And I was like,
Yeah, there was
he
an
looked
article
it up
that,
too. I was like,
yeah, there was an article
not a joke.
actually that came out.
Oh, you wasn't sure?
He wasn't sure. I was waiting for him. Google it, then how he got.
Yeah, there was an article that came out about that last year, and I remember posting it on my social media because I was so proud about that. I mean, you're right. We have made a huge mark.
We have, but somehow
We're still-
our image is erased. We become
Yeah.
the erasure of history, and it's like, where is the black woman in all these movements? And a lot of times, the black woman will lead and start the movement. Now, somebody might come up and help with the torch, but like even from when you look at like Black Lives Matter, you know, it started by like black women, and then all of a sudden it became, you know, the torch for 3 men. And I'm like, yeah, wait a minute, y'all. You know, civil rights, all other movements you can think of, even the feminist movement in America, black women was a part of that and was supporting it. The right to vote, we were there because we like, you women get it, you know, then black people can get it.
Right.
So it's just, you know, Rebel is an example of what black women have been doing since, you know, we was on that boat, unfortunately, and got over here. Keeping
That's
the families together, you know, and making our
Sermon.
community work. I'll get off my soapbox, but
No,
I'm
I
just
love
saying.
it.
No, stay on it, girl.
Honestly, I'm just about to
Teach us. We're gonna listen. Talk to us.
I think that's what Rebel's supposed to be. You know, she's supposed to be the example of how, you know, our communities are upheld, not just as black communities, but as communities as a whole. And I think, you know, that's what she represents.
And
She
it's
represents that.
obvious that it's very dear to your heart. So if anything else comes across, you really want that message to get across, I guess. Just the right portrayal of black women and you know, how realistic and authentic this is. And how it's relatable because, you know, I don't have the same storyline as Rebel, but there are different situations where I do relate to her when it comes, you know, to her strength and having to just carry on when sometimes you feel like you just can't anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, it's been great to just follow this project.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
let's get into
let's just get into it.
episode.
So there's like 3 different major things that I really wanted to talk about. First, I want to talk about Mac and Rebel kind of reuniting, but then at the same time, TJ and Rebel have kind of reunited too, but then TJ kind of throws this whole thing in there with what he does. Let's talk about what he decided to do, which is he needed her Rebel's signature, and he kind of did that, but he did it without her knowing. So what do you guys think about that? Is that something that you would do? Is that something that you wouldn't have done?
No, I think it was wrong of him, but I can see how he could have gotten there because when they were laying in the bed.
Yeah, she did kind of make it a little difficult.
He was getting ready to ask, you know, her for
help.
money or for
Did
the
she make
help.
it difficult? She just made a joke.
Well,
She
made a joke, but at the same time,
Ain't the first time she
they
made
had an
that
argument
joke.
not too long ago.
Yeah.
and she
That
paid
was my
for him.
line.
Yeah, right.
Was that your line?
To me, like, let's and you know what? Listen, this is a huge thing for me to say when it comes to TJ, because normally I don't take TJ's side. However, don't you think it's kind of hard to open your, I don't know, to be vulnerable to someone when they're just kind of telling you, kind of making jokes about you, like right beforehand? Like,
I mean,
you know what I
it is
mean?
hard, but you know, being in a marriage is about making the difficult choices.
Yeah.
Reaching the
And
door.
he took
That
away
is
her
true.
right to choose. Like, who's to say?
She
You
didn't
know,
say it.
if she wouldn't have said yes,
Yeah.
who's to say? And he took away that right. Now, do I think TJ, you know, was, you know, had a right to be uncomfortable? Yeah, because she's been talking about his credit. She said his credit was the same
Yeah,
as
but
his
she's
age.
always been
So
like that,
he's-
though.
Yeah, and they joke back and forth.
But I think
Right.
that's a really sore spot for him. And it's
Right.
obvious.
She knows
Like,
that.
yeah,
And she knows that.
yeah.
And so to turn around and be like, oh,
She
P.S., I need your
said-
help.
Right, what's that line
You
you,
know?
wrote? What's the line you
Right.
said?
But your credit score is the same as your age.
exactly.
I guess you didn't hear her say that. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at her smirk too.
Exactly.
You said that in real life.
Right.
So I
I
looked at it.
Is that a party that you can relate to, Rebel?
It is. I can relate to that, you know, especially, you know, as young black women, you know. I think sometimes our partners, you know,
Child.
as young women, sometimes women are just more mature. And so we'll have our stuff together, and then our partners, you know, we having that FICA that
lagging a
looks
little
like,
bit.
you know, you know, a score on a video game. Like, what's this?
Not
Wow,
a video game.
zeros and-
Not
What's all these zeros in
a
the front.
video game, guys. You heard it here.
But
That's
yeah,
the
but
new
because
phrase.
of that, yeah,
That's
but
the
because
new
of that,
phrase.
I would feel like he should want to man up a little bit. Yes, they are in a marriage and they
Yeah.
are there to help one another. But after that, and your ego is bruised a little bit, and as a man,
I mean, a
I feel like
marriage-
he should want to step up first and try to do that without her.
But in 2017, what really is a marriage license? Because, I mean, not too long ago he was. But I mean, not too long ago he was in another relationship. You see what I'm saying? So it's like people don't really take marriage license as serious as they should anymore. Is what I'm saying. So I mean, it's kind of like they're kind of making their own rules for their relationship.
True, but
You know what I mean?
I can see all sides of that, and I feel like, you know, if he's broke up with her, you know, the chick Tarsha, he broke up with her to try to see if he can make his marriage work, right? So if that's your intent,
I liked him in that. I liked him in that episode.
You liked him when you got
I liked him
slapped.
in that episode.
He was just like, well, I'm gonna take that one. But his intent was, I'm gonna work on my marriage. There's something here. So if you're working on it, that's the hard work. You're already in the trenches. You're already down there.
I understand that side too. So you should just be open, is what you're saying. Like if
That's
you're
what I
already,
would prefer.
I would
But
prefer
for
that
drama's
too.
sake, I like that he did. Because I was like, ooh, when I saw it, like,
Right.
I wasn't
Because
there.
honestly, it makes you want to. It makes you want to keep up with the series, because to me, like, now I'm waiting for Rebel's reaction. Like when she finds out what she's gonna do. I mean, that's what I'm wanting to see. But you're the guy on the panel. What do you think? Would you have done that in your relationship?
It's like my favorite thing when you just be like, oh yeah, we're all got here. Speak for all men.
I like no,
You know
not
what?
all men. I want you to speak from
what I
DeAnJilo.
usually do is
Yeah.
I'll agree with you guys because you know, I like to walk out of here safely.
No, but you
but what I'm going to do today is I do think
What I'm gonna do today.
I think she needs to be more supportive to him
I
because
agree.
she's
I
aware,
agree.
I agree
and
with
it's
that.
a marriage. Like that's just where it's at. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
And she knows that he's like, it's not like it's unknown that she doesn't know that he is sensitive about it. Like, why the hell are you going to keep pushing it?
Because
on him?
obviously she knew
'Cause
his credit
she's-
score before they got married,
Right,
right?
and then she's also building this culture
Absolutely.
in the marriage of like not being able to be safe and communicate about things that you're supposed
Which
to
also
about.
promotes cheating. Do you think that?
It can,
I think it
but
can.
you got to communicate. And so I say,
Right.
as a man, like he's got to communicate through that, get over your pride, but at the same time, she needs to be a little bit more supportive,
I
a
mean,
lot more
there's-
supportive.
There's two sides to every
Right.
story. Actually, three. Her side, his side,
And
And
the
the
truth.
and the truth,
Yeah.
right?
And she said,
Why
and
you put it
the
yourself?
writer's
I know
truth.
the
My
truth.
truth.
The truth, people.
I think, you know, yes, she is, you know, her what she's saying is not encouraging a,
Right.
you know, fostering an environment where TJ feels like he can talk to her and just, you know, be open with her. So she, you know, she is reaping what she sows.
Right.
And I think in that moment, if I remember correctly, she was like, just kidding. And then she was like, you know, I'm really proud of you. Like she
Too late.
came back
Right.
on
Mm-mm.
it.
Too late.
But it was
Right,
too
yeah.
late.
Like, it
It was.
Oops.
It was like,
It's gone.
oh, I just slapped this shit on you. Wait, let me wipe it off your face.
Yeah.
Did I
Still
get
there.
it? No, you still smell
But see,
it.
that's what's so great about Rebel is that not only are we seeing a black woman lead, but we're also kind of taking lessons from each episode as well. I mean,
Absolutely.
because I'm sure that, you know, if I was in a relationship, I would take from that, okay, communication is key. You have to communicate, and you have to make sure that your partner feels comfortable
Yeah.
to communicate with you even when he, you know, necessarily doesn't feel. Because honestly, if I was in the bed talking to her and she made like a little side joke like, hey, your credit, I would have been like, you know, I was going to ask her to help me.
But
But
now,
now,
Now I'm gonna take her ID and
I'm
go
like,
to the bank.
I probably would have like done like a
joking.
bubble bath
Yeah.
and then probably eased her into it. Maybe take her to dinner, Burger King. I don't know, credit score. I don't know, credit score. Shoot, you know.
But we also have to realize these are flawed characters. That's
Right.
what makes them
Yeah.
fun because Rebel's also hiding something from him, right?
Right.
Right? He doesn't know what's really going on. He don't know she marked up on her body. She in there
Right.
in bed like,
Right.
oops, I ain't got this off yet. Like she hasn't told him anything. She
She
hasn't
told the other dude,
but
which I also got an issue with.
Yeah, I wanna
Which
get
she
right
there
told
too.
Max.
She told the
That
other
wasn't
guy.
me. That was
Okay.
that was my brilliant showrunner Randy Huggins. Our second Terry Kopp. One of them. It wasn't me.
Well, it's a great
Angela.
segue because I want to ask you guys, what do you think about the relationship between Mac now and Rebel? Because I'm not here for it.
I think
I'm not here for it.
I was wondering, like, I was thinking about the show, like, so Mac is he's a different type of persistent in being able to connect with her emotionally. Like, because I feel like TJ missed the season because of their complications or whatever, and Mac, I just seeing how he communicated to her to get her to open up, and the persistence, because she's hard-headed, like, but the persistence through that is like his gift, and that's why she's attracted to him. So like I understand it. Obviously, I don't agree with it.
So do you think? So you think that she is attracted to him? You don't think that they were
yeah.
just like messing around?
I don't think so.
Not at
Well,
all.
I think there's some intimacy there because we have to realize that, like,
Because she
you
did
said,
clarify
partners.
though.
yeah, they're partners, and he's able to penetrate her stubbornness.
Penetrate.
I use
What a
that
great
Right.
word.
I was like, whoa,
That was
But
descriptive.
think about it. It was descriptive.
I have to
Think
jot
about
that
it.
Is that right?
Penetrate her.
The intimacy is developed because they're working through something,
Right.
you know, and that's what it's about, you know, being in the trenches with someone. She was in the trenches with TJ in war,
Right.
and they became intimate. Now she's in the trenches with Mac. And
I like where you
there's
went
some-
there. I
Oh,
like
you
where you
like
went.
that?
I liked it.
Trenches?
I'm here for it.
Okay,
I support it.
I think that's the complication, and it makes
But
it
see,
like
to me, that's why it's even more. It's just hard to forgive Mac to me because they do know each other on a very personal level, and for him to have a relationship with her brother, and for him to kind of like initiate the whole reason why he's dead. It's just like I don't know if I could get back emotional. I don't know.
Well, she's
so. I
also.
mean, he didn't kill him.
Right.
He
Yeah.
didn't, but I feel like he initiated the situation, like the circumstance. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we have to realize. I agree with you. I think, you know, I probably would have been angry a little longer, but I also realize it's very special circumstances. She still needs him.
Yeah.
She still needs to get inside the police force, and he is like this willing participant. She lost her mentor, Chuck. Like,
So you really think she lost him completely?
I feel like, you know.
Well, you really know. You actually do know.
I'm talking about up to episode 6.
She said, get it correct.
No spoilers.
No, we're
here.
like, no, Ava.
Yeah, stop.
Episode
Stop.
6.
Okay.
You're not gonna get me
we
good.
know, right?
She's like, I'm not gonna tell on this show.
I also said this last week, so the writer agreed. Thank you, writer, for making me right in this situation. I'm saying I said what you said last week, so keep going. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, you know, because you're right this week, I guess. He's not usually right, though, right?
No.
All right. There it is.
Oh.
No support.
He's on the side of the precinct right now. He is, you know, taking up that torch and that battle and trying to keep things together there. By mere virtue of doing that, he is against Rebel. There's a very clear line. It's just black and white right now.
Right.
And the fact that he released that information about her brother, the fact that he's
But
withholding
see, I feel like in
It's
information.
episode
flash
5, he
drive,
kind of
yeah.
regretted, like.
But then he didn't give her the information that he then
True.
got.
Yeah, maybe he will.
He didn't.
I think he will.
I mean,
will he?
I don't know.
Tash.
I don't know because right now, what does he want? He
Right.
wants
He wants
the department, and
ambitions.
he
Yeah.
has ambitions. He wants
Yeah.
to be chief. We already know they're like under this review board, which is a real thing and which really happened in
Yes.
Oakland. Just FYI, and it's something that's a lot of this is based on reality. Like we took real cases and, you know, real situations and just made it, you know, relevant for Rebel, but that's a real thing.
But see,
I
on a
didn't know that.
positive note, I do see Chief like using this situation to kind of make the police department, to kind of change the vibe of the police department and be able to have the community trust the police department. If anything, I do feel like that's what he is trying to do. If he doesn't have a relationship with Rebel, if he doesn't end up having a relationship with Rebel, at least he's taking this to say, okay, we have a lot of work to do. We need to build trust between the community and police officers. We need to make sure that what we're doing on site is the correct thing to do. Like, do you think that?
I mean, I think he's doing that, but in doing that, he is sacrificing the truth,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's you know, taking up one battle while sacrificing another.
Right, but it's also too with like you were saying with, as far as truth, it's whoever believes their truth. So he might feel like, okay, well this is what he's sacrificing, but this is the real truth. Whereas Rebel feels like if he gave her that information, that would be that truth. You see what I'm saying?
I think that the footage that he got in 105, it, you know, supports either his truth or her truth. But we know something else happened.
Right.
And he knows something else happens, and he's not willing to look into it at this point. From what we see, he's just like, I'm gonna put this away.
Right.
Don't nobody.
Because he doesn't want to know. Because if he finds out, then he's gonna have to.
Is that right or is
Well,
that
he watched
wrong?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more. There's more.
Oh,
to
did he
it.
stop it
He stopped
before?
it.
Okay.
He
stopped
stopped
it.
it. And when they started, you know, sounding real suspect, he was like, oh no. And I'm gonna put this away.
Ignorance is bliss.
And yeah, ignorance is bliss because he has a mission. He feels like he's taken up the, it's like you have to lose some of the battles to win the war. And he feels like I'm going to let that one go because it's about the bigger picture, as you said, which is the police force and the community and repairing that relationship. But can you repair the relationship on a lie? I don't know.
Right.
Well, the thing too that he wants to be in a position of power.
Right.
I think a lot of people want to be, foot soldiers, and they think those foot soldier positions are positions of power. But not until you can call the shots and fire people, that's when you can actually make something happen. So it might be sacrificing that now for the greater good of actually making change later on.
It would be.
I like what you said. The greater good.
Yeah. It would
I think that's how he thinks.
It would be easier though if it wasn't Rebel like involved in this, like if it wasn't someone.
I'm sure he feels the same way though.
Yeah, he knows them. Yeah. He knows them. I think it'd be easier for him to drop like handle it the way he wants to handle it.
Right.
From what we've seen so far. If he didn't know Rebel's gonna be really persistent about this. Like this battle might not just be a battle. It's a little bit more, which I think he is realizing as well.
Yeah,
so it's a lot.
I have faith for Chief. Honestly, I feel like him and Rebel will come around, and I'm hoping.
That's the thing. He's not chief. He's a lieutenant. He
Right.
has
He
aspirations to be chief.
Right.
Which is.
Well, I'm glad that you made that correction because I always thought I always kind of put him in the chief position, I guess, because he was so close to Rebel and he kind of mentored her, and I felt as if he kind of mentored the department. So
absolutely, he's definitely a mentor. He's thought of as a leader in the department. You can see other cops coming to him all the time.
Yeah.
He's always the one.
So he's like a chief in spirit.
Yeah, he as the lieutenant, it's like the chief, the current chief, thinks like this is who's going to replace him.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's almost grooming him to replace him as he has functioned. And it's up to Charles to say, no, I'm going to do it a different way, but do I have to play this game to get there, as you said?
You have to play the game.
Or, am I going to, ruffle some feathers and do it another way?
Right.
That's so insightful.
So,
yeah. Makes sense.
We have to figure out, where is he going? And so far, we don't know. I mean, we're going to see more of him in this season. We're going to see a lot more. Everything is starting to like
something.
Some breadcrumbs.
Are you sprinkling some clues?
Some breadcrumbs have been dropped, right? We know something is up. We know that her brother was with his friend and something happened. Somebody was trying to get them, and then all of a sudden we know that Texas, the guy he was hanging with, has a history with the police officers that killed her brother. And it seems odd that those police officers were there right after an incident happened. So Rebel is on to something, and then somebody doesn't want Rebel to be on to something. Like they're literally threatened her, like back off, drugged her,
yes,
took her
with
to her
triazolam.
home. Triazolam, yeah.
Which they use at the dentist.
They do.
But just
okay.
So what is she gonna find out that maybe
that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if they drugged her on the street, right? So maybe she got to figure that out.
Yeah.
She got to figure out what does that mean and where it's what clue is that going to lead her to. She knows she was drugged in that club, and we know who was in the club. So she's already went and talked to what's his name? His friend, Malik's friend.
Oh right.
Yeah.
His name just flew out of my head just now.
Mine too.
She's already gone to talk to, his friend, and it's like, what happened? And he's just like, and now he's come clean that, all right, I was there with him that night. This is what happened. That was my gun. It just all happened so fast. And so now she knows something is amiss.
Yeah.
It wasn't as clean cut, even though it was a bad shooting all along.
There's so many layers underneath what happened, what led to what happened. Well, the Kevin Green case, as a writer, how do you guys kind of create, different scenarios as far as cold cases and that kind of thing? Was it a fun process? How do you guys create the storyline for that?
Well, for all the cases, like at one point we came in and we just pitched cases.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we, like Law and Order, CSI, like they're just cases, and there's so much in the news that, like the triazolam, I saw that somewhere in the paper was like, hey, like this is something you could get your hands on, like so we came in and we pitched these cases, and the best ones got to, come
Be on
to
the show.
fruition. Yeah. I mean, we had a great process. Like, my room was only 5 people, 6 when John came because he was shooting 2 shows. And we would pitch crazy stuff. We had a door where if it was real crazy, it ended up on the door, and we talk about you for a day. Like, what were you thinking? That's not going to happen. And, like, so, but they're also, like, real instances. This is based off of real life. It's not like some far-fetched, like, we can take reality and make it palatable for TV. And, like, next week, the case deals with spirituality. And I'm a spiritual person, and I know it's real touchy in the Black community. So I think Rebel's going to have a good time with that case. So I think the audience should really, really tune in.
There go your cliffhanger. I like that.
Yeah.
No, I liked that.
She's going to go to a church. So...
Yeah.
And after, we all know, like, after, really, really heavy bad things happen to her, we go, and how is what we're going to deal with this now that she's, like, going to the church, and where's her spirituality right now? Because, she's, like, in this very, very low point of her life. Even though she's moving forward, we know she still has to be, like, just screwed up inside.
Yeah.
And even in this episode, she talked about how she moved and how she was afraid because she was like, oh, they know where I live now. And she's already moved once before.
Yeah. So
what do you think about that? Do you think that it would be smart for Rebel to move again? Do you think that,
I mean, Sally Richardson Whitfield, who directed this episode, this last episode, 106, that last shot when Rebel's
like with her gun
Yeah.
on her
That was
bed.
tight.
Yes.
I love that
It was like
Yeah.
cerebral,
Yeah.
right?
It was so
Yeah.
funny because at Stir we were at the viewing party, and I don't know, I guess it was the energy, but everyone started
Everyone was like,
clapping at that moment
scene.
because you could just feel I don't know, it showed determination to me that she was like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm going to do what I have to do to work this out.
It showed a sense of determination, and it also showed
Unrest.
for me, she's uneasy.
Yeah.
Like, reality is
Yeah.
setting in that they were in her house.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
now what? Like,
Right.
she's not going to sleep easy. Like, it's like, now it's just like the world is really on her back.
Right.
What does she do? Does she move again?
What would you do? Would you move?
Hell yeah. You ain't got to show me but one time.
What about you guys? Would you move? Would you move? Would you stay?
I feel with Rebel, her thing is like it's consistent thing that she doesn't deal with issues and she just keeps pushing forward. Like the thing with TJ, it's like she said, okay, well, you have to dump the girlfriend to be with me. And he did that, but they didn't have a conversation about everything that was going on in order to move forward. They just picked up where they left off. Therefore, she's ribbing TJ. TJ's ego is getting injured, but he's not saying anything to her, so she's assuming that's okay. So there's that issue. And then the whole thing with Mac, it's like, okay, she forgave him somewhat, but they didn't really have a conversation to actually like
Just
close
gotta
it, especially if he's
train
still
him.
going to be in her life.
Right.
And then the whole thing with the gun and everything like that, it's like, oh, all right, cool, this is what happened. Now she brings a gun to solve the possible problem, but she didn't
Yes.
really deal with the fact that she thought she got raped. That's a whole nother emotion. The fact that she thought she may have gotten pregnant, that's a whole nother emotion. Then she hasn't dealt with her brother. So she has
hasn't-
all
She
these
ain't
She
dealt with
issues.
a
doesn't
lot.
deal with things,
Yeah.
does
Right.
she?
I think she
No.
handles herself pretty well considering all
But
of
if
that.
she
Yeah,
deal-
but
if
she's
she's
making
not
it.
dealing with
Yeah,
it,
it's all gonna
it's
catch
like-
up.
it's
Yeah.
eventually,
Can't
And
surprise
right
her.
now,
Too
she
long.
doesn't even have her best friend. So,
Right? Mess that up.
so
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that too. I want
Well,
her
she
and
called her and
Scheana to.
apologized.
She did,
Yeah.
but
But
you know.
is it enough?
But you
Yeah.
know what? I will say it was kind of a hard apology, don't you think? She was like, Scheana, sorry.
Hang up.
That's
That's
rebel,
big for
though.
her, though. That's
That's
big.
a lot,
And her friends
right?
know that. Yeah,
That's
that's
a lot.
big.
When you
She
know a
doesn't
person,
apologize.
yeah.
She's like, that word. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It was
you know?
honestly, knowing Rebel and seeing her character, yeah, it was a total Rebel apology. But it's just funny because that's how I felt like when she was like, sorry. I was like, that's such a Rebel, I'm sorry. But it was genuine because that is just who she is.
That's who she. I have,
Yeah.
if you have a friend like that, or
I know so many
someone,
people like, yeah, they're
and,
just
and
like,
you're like, and they're like, my bad. You
it's
like,
that, it's the sorry
okay.
word and the I love
enough.
you.
That was hard for them.
You know that
Yeah.
was like from their gut.
Yes. It's sorry. Honestly, with those kind of people I've met, it's either sorry or I love you. It's like they show you that they love you. They don't really say it, but they'll show you. And I'm sure that Rebel and Scheana, Scheana knows that Rebel loves her.
Right.
And so, she knows, knowing how Rebel is, I'm sure that she's like, okay.
Right.
Rebel, I think, one of the casualties of being so determined and strong is losing a sense of self.
Yeah.
And that vulnerability, she's like, if I'm that vulnerable, then I can't be this strong.
Right.
She doesn't.
But it's her
she hasn't
best friend,
found the
though.
balance.
Yeah, true.
She misses her. I mean, she clearly misses her best friend. When it happened, who was the first person she was like, oh, no, can't come with her. So it's like she's missing a part of herself, but it's like like, how am I strong if I'm weak?
Yeah, but I think the issue with that too is the reason that she got upset at Scheana is Scheana was putting herself in a position for her to get hurt.
And she was
so it's just kind of like, yeah, of course you shouldn't have cussed her out like that, but in the heat of the moment, Rebel could have lost her, and technically Rebel put her in that position as far as bringing her into the case and allowing that to happen. So sometimes it's just kind of like, all right, cool, you could, she definitely had to apologize, but on the flip side, people need to have conversations. I just feel like there's always the missing piece there.
I like the flip side because Scheana did need to back off, right?
You think so?
In that,
She
or
was
hit her in that,
herself in a lot of danger, and she's
that specific setting.
And she can't fight. She doesn't know how to shoot a gun.
Well, I think from Sheena's perspective,
I
think she felt like she was really onto something with the previous cases, and she felt like, I could be good at this, and I think she got a little confident, but even still a little cocky,
a little bit.
But
and she handled the police thing.
Fake it till you make it.
The glass door police conversation.
Yes.
That pumped her up.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I got this. Let's go."
But Rebel was there coaching
in her
ear, like she was going down the wrong path.
path.
Yeah.
She was flirting, and Rebel was
he's
like,
gay.
"He's gay." Right?
What are you doing?
Put those things away. Like nobody wants to see them. Like Rebel, I think, like you said, she went in hard on her because Scheana wasn't listening. She had already told her to ease up, and then she came with the tough love, but then it backfired because Scheana had a point. I've been here.
Right, and I think that's where she got her
here.
confidence
The thing is,
from.
if Sheena's going to be there and she chooses to be here, then she has to do her homework. So if she's going to put herself in those situations, then you either need to go to the fire range, you need to know how to fight, you need to do something. You can't just roll up and then think, oh no, where's Rebel? And then you dead. Like, you have to put yourself.
Yeah, then Rebel has lost more family.
Right.
And I think Rebel even explained,
Tough
you
love.
do this. You do this. You find something
trend.
you want to do. You start doing it, and then you ain't doing it 10 minutes later. And so I think, there's clearly, like you said, this probably happened before. They don't talk about it. They just go sorry and move on. And so it comes out other ways.
Right.
And this is one of the ways it's come out. And that just seems to be a trend in Rebel's life. And I think next week, you're going to get some of that resolution. Not a lot, but enough to make you go, oh, and you'll learn a little bit more about Rebel.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of next week,
breadcrumbs.
I know. We're gonna put some more breadcrumbs on the table with predictions. Now, what we do?
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
They're gonna do like So what we do is we pretty much we go around and we kind of say what we think is going to happen for the remainder of the series or the next episode, etc. Whatever you want to predict. So we'll start with Tash.
No, she should just be the judge. She should give us
I
a facial
can't.
expression on how
Really?
close we are.
Yeah. Why
She
am I going to
knows.
predict?
That's like asking God to predict the future.
Jesus, am I going to live tomorrow?
Well, maybe you can drop like a clue to
No, don't spoil it for the fans
I mean,
who are watching.
I would not do that to you because, like, if you knew that she was going to end up in a club and then get drugged, like, it wouldn't have been
wouldn't be.
having
Okay.
an impact.
Spoilers.
Yeah, you'd be mad at me.
What about the
trust me.
fans?
Because
Okay.
next week, something big does happen.
See? Okay, that's your prediction. Next week, something big happens.
Oh, that's
All
my
right.
prediction
Well,
too.
I'm saying that's
Same here.
That's mine.
it's something like for the we only have 3 more episodes, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, sorry, 4. I can count. I can write and count. But because of that, there is going to be some resolution at the end of the season. I can tell you that there will be some resolution. So if that's the case, we've opened all these barrels. Now what? She's going to have to start going in them.
All right.
Which means it's going to get kind of intense.
Okay, so now I'm anticipating all of this. My prediction, I don't know. If anything, I feel like she's probably going to get tangled between a relationship with Mac in a relationship with TJ, and I think she's gonna come to a circumstance where she actually has to choose. Because right now it's obvious that she's chosen to work things out with her husband, but between him taking her identification and Matt kind of coming back, creeping back into the picture, I don't know. Maybe she could say that was it for me. That was the one that did it for me. I'm out. Mac is here. He's gonna come in on like this horse and swore. I don't know. That's what I think.
She doesn't know yet, though. So.
That's gonna. I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that TJ and Mac are gonna have a little encounter. Because he was trying to be possessive when Mac brought
I agree with
Rebel
that.
home. He's like, "Can I have my wife's keys? Oh, you want to throw the wife in there now?" You know what I mean? So that show that possession he has over her.
Rebel
and
did that
also,
too,
like,
by the way.
Yeah,
when
she
went
did.
over to that house.
She did. She did it
Okay.
too. But I'm just saying,
The
like, still, like,
side
yeah, she did. But I don't know why it's like it just seems a little different for a woman. It's like, I'm gonna check you, but his is, to me, it seems possessive, like this is mine.
Oh,
you know?
I see that the other way around.
But
Really?
so I just
Yeah.
think they'll have an encounter. So how?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you're the head check in charge, you don't need to check anybody. You just need to stand there, and you don't have to say anything at all.
Fair.
But that's true. That's a good point.
My prediction is not going to be related to the relationship. I think the lieutenant down the line is his integrity is going to outweigh his desires for ambitions, and he's going to try to handle it the right way, but it's going to come at a big sacrifice for him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like Mac and Rebel there's gonna be a thing because in the beginning, you know, she admitted to like sleeping with him, but it's just like Rebel has everything compartmentalized. So yeah, she might like if her and TJ don't work out, he might be a jump off while she's not feeling up to par. But I don't think a relationship's gonna happen. It just feels like there's so many things going on, and for the sake of another season, she can't resolve a lot of stuff, especially her whole issues with dealing with things and communication. Yeah. So I definitely think her and Scheana are going to get back together because she needs her road dog. Hopefully Scheana figures out how to shoot a gun, take her to range or something. That's, she needs a gun for sure. She's going to be doing all that stuff. But I think definitely, I'm hoping that her brother's case is going to get solved. That makes the most sense, but then there's going to be something else that happens that's going to lead to that second season.
Well, all of those things are possible. And I like the way you guys think. I'm about to invite you to the writer's room. Be like, let them bitch. I will say that, yes, a lot will be uncovered, but at the same time, anytime you answer a question, what happens? You get 3 more questions.
Right. Right.
So Rebel is definitely going to answer one of those questions. I just think it's just going to come at the cost of more questions, but it's going to lead us in the right direction.
We'll have clarity by the end of the season.
You'll have some clarity. You'll have some clarity, yes.
Somewhat.
Was anyone at this table right about their prediction?
Yes.
One of you were like,
really
yes, spot on right. One of you was spot on. Like,
I like it.
One of you were spot on. One of you were so far. I was like,
I think that one was me.
But I think you all
because I never said
Rebel.
that Rebel and Mac would have a relationship. I said that she would be in a circumstance to where she would have to choose.
Don't change what
Right,
you
don't
think
change
is
it.
right.
I'm just saying.
Why did she need
You
to
guys
choose though?
Because if Mac's coming back in her life and he's showing how dedicated he is to her, and they're also solving
TJ's
circumstances
gonna go
together,
after
and
She
TJ's
married,
like
though.
taking her identification and not being honest with her as her husband, why wouldn't you be conflicted about that? We'll see.
We will see.
I just want to say that I love that you guys are arguing about it. That means
No argument
that
here.
the writers are doing a good job.
Yes, we
because
care.
It's bringing you, to a point where you're like really into it. And
Yeah,
you
I mean,
feel
you're
like
going to have to
it's
keep
real.
watching.
Yeah.
And before we get off the show, I want to announce Lauren LaGrasso is guest. She's going to be a special guest on Amir Levi's The Unforgiven show. It's going to be at the Rockwell Table and Stage, April 30th at 7 p.m. If you want tickets, go to rockwell-la.com. Please be sure to go. It's going to be amazing. I know, Lauren, you're going to do a great job, break legs, all of that. Thank you so much for tuning into the After Show for Rebel. My name is Ava Hill, and you can find me on Instagram at the Ava Hill, and our guest Tash.
Yeah, you
Thank
can
you so
find
much
me.
for coming.
Thank you. And please follow me and then follow the Rebel Writers. It's Rebels_Writers. We live tweet the show. We interact with our fans. And if you love the show, tell 10 more people so they can love it with you.
Yes. Spread the word about Rebel. It's an awesome show. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33.
Yes, spread the word and turn on them TVs. Make sure it's on that channel when Rebel is coming on
Yes.
Tuesdays.
And if you DVR it, watch it within 3 days.
Yes,
It counts.
yes, numbers.
Oh, they
right?
switched that up.
Nice.
Numbers matter.
Numbers completely matter.
Right,
Yes,
number
please.
day, yes.
Hit me up on Twitter or on Instagram. DeAnJilo is DeAnJilo. Where can they find you, TK?
First, thank you to all the live chatters. Keep those comments coming. iTunes, Fiber Better. Don't do anything less.
Yes.
You can follow me at TK Trinidad on everything.
Cool. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.